But first, the fastest, most impactful monologue in America. The theme this week is the State of the Union. Yep, I'm going to be there in D.C. At stake, the midterm elections. It's coming up on Tuesday. But the body blow was delivered to the president on Friday with the Supreme Court decision 6-3 against him, invalidating his tariffs. And it will force the president to come up with a plan B, and it's already in motion. And how they ultimately respond as an administration will be challenging. But Jonathan Turley sees possible positives in this need for an audible. Watch.
This administration has secured some very impressive trade deals. It might not change as much as we think, because these countries know this president is not going to go away from that position. He wants access to markets on equal terms, and he has gotten that, including just recently from Indonesia. So you're going to see the administration using other tools to say, don't assume that this means that, the pressure's off in terms of equal trade access.
It's true. It's hard to deny the president has done some remarkable things overall in just 1 year. I'll give you an example. Confronting our enemies, handling global problems. Ted Cruz liked it.
Keep wanting Donald Trump to be an isolationist, and that's not who he is. And the world is safer because of it. Listen, our enemies are terrified of President Trump. I got to say, at 3 a.m. on January 3rd of this year, every Latin American dictator had to change his shorts.
Because of Venezuela. And by the way, we're even closer than ever to rebuilding Gaza. Did you even think that was possible? Creating the Board of Peace now, he assembled a peacekeeping force. They're already coming in with money and with people. Now, Venezuela, that the senator is just referring to, a South American menace for the past 20 years. Their leader is now in a Brooklyn prison, not taking visitors. Cuba is about to blow, perhaps on the threshold of saying goodbye to communism for the first time in 60 years, and goodbye to Castro, now his brother. On the economy, he's cut trade deals, as you know, with the UK, Japan, South Korea, India, the European Union, and more. A huge decision facing him in Iran, a 47-year-old problem for 7 presidents. He's killed their terror mastermind already. You know about that. He blew up their nukes. You saw that. And he could finish off the evil Ayatollah before Easter. While he's making gains abroad and eliminating problems around the globe, he's ultimately going to be judged, and he knows it, about how he's doing at home with the economy.
They caused the affordability problem, and we've solved it. And we're going still lower, but we've solved it. But more importantly, we've brought back the American dream, and we have a country, I think, that within the next 12 months, maybe sooner, but within the next 12 months, it's going to be the greatest it's ever been.
Well, a new Fox poll revealing distressing 40% approval on how he's handling our wallet, our economy, which is astounding because there are certain numbers that are flat out phenomenal. He's jumpstarting the American dream with Trump accounts. 4.6% GDP growth. Could go up to 5 next quarter. Job numbers that doubled predictions last week. Core inflation at a 10-year low. Wage growth outstripping inflation, which overall inflation is heading in the right direction, closer and closer to 2. However, people don't feel it. And a lot has to do with the anti-Trump press. They are not impressed. But that doesn't mean prices have gone down all across the board. At the grocery store, the results are mixed. I mean, for example, beef, coffee, dairy products stubbornly still high. Eggs, fruits, vegetables, they've dropped. Gas prices are down. Utility prices are high. Even though that's a state issue, they're kind of looking at the president to lower those rates. Trump essentially has 9 months to buck history again. Bring the prices down. Save the House and save the Senate majorities. Explain to everybody that Joe Biden dealt him a bad hand. Fully explain the titanic changes on the global landscape. Fully define his victories in foreign policy. And make Democrats answer this question. What would they do different? Would they do better, especially on the economy?
Do you want to give the government back over to the people who, frankly, burned down the house and made most Americans much less wealthy and much less safe? Or do you want to double down on the president's leadership?
Yep. So for Tuesday, my take is this. It's okay to say what's great, but go out of your way to say what is not great. Tell America what you have planned and what to expect in their wallet to make their lives better. You have a lot to be proud of, but don't say everything's perfect, because it's not. And it never is. It's impossible.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.